I don't know where that came from. Hi.
What's up?
How you doing? We're going to answer your Twitter questions. I'm Theo James.
I'm Shy McBride.
And we're in a new show called Golden Boys, so tune in and ask us some questions.
And tell 12 million of your closest friends.
So first question is, what position do you... No, Jackie. Okay, you go.
If you weren't an actor, what would you be doing?
Jessica H. asked.
Jessica H. Well, Jessica H., I'll tell you what I would have been doing this morning. I would have been asleep because I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do a lot of press so that we can promote our wonderful show and get as many people interested in watching as possible. You know what? If I weren't an actor, I'd really like to work in a clothing store. I love fine men's clothing and haberdashery. Yeah. And you can make a lot of dough. I remember I used to work at a big department store similar to a Neiman Marcus. Well, it was Neiman Marcus, and there were people in there making $200,000 and $300,000 a year. People like their clothes, and I do have a penchant for men's fashion, so I'd probably be selling suits somewhere.
I would be an exotic dancer probably, but if not, I always wanted to be a musician. And if not that, then I wanted to be a cop when I was younger.
Did you?
Policeman, yeah.
Well, now you can pretend and not really get shot.
Yeah.
It's
but
perfect.
Something appealed about it. I don't know, the reality
Perfect.
might be difficult. Oh, here we go.
Here's another question.
Catherine D. What are some similarities and differences between you and your character, besides the action, Theo?
So you can't rely on that now.
Are we allowed to swear? That's a good question.
But it's a little late now.
No.
No. So there'll be big stars across where your mouth is when that response comes in real time. Didn't I tell you? Be careful. There's going into the unit. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so similarities and differences between me and my character would be, well, the difference is he is very arrogant and cocksure, and I don't think I have his confidence in that way. I mean, he's a...
You should. You're a hell of a good actor.
Thanks, brother. But he's got a big ego. But I'd say we're both fairly. I like to think of myself as a little bit smart. So that too, and he likes Cheetos. I love Cheetos.
Between me and my character, I actually do have the same passion against criminals. I hate criminals. Hate them. You work all your life to get a couple little things, and then somebody just break a window, walk in your house, and take everything out. No, I hate criminals. So that is a similarity that I have with my character. But, you know, I think I've never gotten, at least not in this job, I've never gotten jaded to the point where I didn't like it. So I'm very passionate about my work, and that's a little bit different than Don Owen is, at least in the beginning. Now, Jesse L. asks, what was your very first acting job?
Can we clarify, is that paid acting job, or is that just any acting job?
It ain't a job till they pay you.
Yeah, true.
It's work when they don't pay you. My first one was Revenge of the Nerds 3. That was a TV movie for Fox, and I am not ashamed of that because that eventually led to this. That's right. The CBS folks saw my work in Revenge of the Nerds 3 and said, yes, that's the guy that we need for Golden.
Mine was, I played in a war movie, the bad guy's henchman, and I think I had about 5 lines, which most of them got cut.
What movie was it?
I can't remember the name of it now. You wouldn't know.
How do you know I don't have an obscure movie Rolodex in my head? Maybe. Okay, here's Jesse. Another question.
Eddie.
Who's that? Eddie. Okay.
What's up, Eddie? Did you get to do any research with local NYC cops and drive-alongs? Yeah, we did. We did a lot, actually. We, particularly with our Jimmy Bardner, he's an ex-homicide detective. He's pretty highly decorated, very cool guy, and we happened to get along with him really well. So we ended up. We hung out with him in bars, drunk with him, shared wine. We met his old partners.
Yeah, that was great.
We went out to Jersey.
Go out with him and his family and his cop family, basically, you know, because these guys see each other more than they see their own families. We went out with some of his old partners. It was a lot of fun. A great Italian restaurant on Long Island. Remember that lamb prosciutto?
Yeah, it was good.
And it was incredible. But just sharing their stories and learning their lingo and mannerisms, it was awesome. Diana B. asks, who's the biggest prankster on the set? Easily, I think, is Alejandro.
Yeah, he's a good prankster. I'd say, to be honest, we're all pretty good at pranks.
Yeah.
But Alejandro, Kevin is probably the...
He makes a life work thing of it. I mean, he's
a big prankster, and he does some great ones. He I think the first day I came into my dressing room, and he turned everything in my dressing room upside down. So I got him back by putting cling film on his toilet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, putting nice saran wrap toilet. So that's.
But yeah, he's a jokester, and he's really good at it as well.
Yeah, he is. Megan M.
Any dream guest stars?
We've had some great guest stars. We really have.
You had one, you remember? Because you were thinking.
Which one?
For your partner.
Oh yeah, for my old partner. Yeah, I wanted to get Fishburne to do it, and cool. He was doing Hannibal, which he's still doing right now up in Toronto. But he really wanted to do it, but he was spoken for by doing another series on a different network. But we've had some great guest stars. You know, Bobby Burke was really great. Nick Chinlund, he was really great. Who played Diaco's father? Danadea. He was incredible on there, and we've had some wonderful guests. We had Michael Madsen. We've had some great people to come through and grace our stage, so it's been awesome.
Matthew W., what do you enjoy doing when you're not working? Well, booze.
Yeah. He loves his booze.
No,
nothing like good booze.
Well, mine would be I'm a big sea person, so I'm into free diving and scuba diving. That's a big thing of mine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me and my brother do it.
Oh, wow. Like free diving with no tanks or nothing?
Yeah, and you get big for
How deep can you go without tanks?
It depends how good you are. I think I could get to about 18 meters when I was really good, which is pretty deep.
English. No, not English. American.
Yeah,
what is it? What is the measurement of 18 meters? Somebody look that up and tweet us. But that sounds like it's pretty deep. A meter is about a yard. So that's a long way, man.
Yeah, but I can do that now.
That's like damn near 60 feet. What's wrong? Don't do that now until I get in my boat. No more deep free diving or whatever it is you're doing. I like to play golf, and I actually do like booze. I'm a wine collector, and I love good wine, and I've been able to
brings it to set,
go
brings
out,
it to dinner.
Comes it to share with my friends and colleagues, and we've had a wonderful time drinking wine, and I love playing golf. I ain't no damn good at it, but I keep trying, and I love it, and I enjoy being out there and have a nice cigar and play around the golf.
Andrew F. asks, who has been the most inspirational figure in your life?
Wow.
It's a big one.
Andrew F. is getting all deep on us. You want to give the standard answer of some heroic and historic figure? Or
Gandhi. No. Yeah. I probably, this is going to sound cheesy and generic, but it's actually genuinely true. My parents, they raised 5 kids, and they're very giving, and they've given everything to their kids. So I'd say my parents definitely are there, both of them, for me.
I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of very inspirational figures in my life. I've had the good fortune of having a friendship with Michael Jordan for about 20 years, and I've never met anyone who is inspiring on that level, because this is a guy who's not taking no for an answer in terms of finding his way to his success and meeting his goals, and just relentless in his competitive nature and relentless in his, in fulfilling his goals. He's pretty inspiring, because I've just seen him do some amazing things, and it's all because of will. I mean, it's one thing to be athletically gifted, but the guy really worked hard, and I find it inspiring just to always try to do your very, very best. And it sounds like a very cliche term, but when you're really trying to do your best, you have to dig very deep, and it's very inspiring when someone can get you to do that, I think. Magdali C. Magdali. Is it Magdali or Magdali? Tweet us back and let us know. But she asked, or he asks, depending, who on the show is most like their character? I don't think anybody's just like their character. I think we've done a sufficient job of masking our own personalities. I mean, I happen to think that every actor brings something
I agree.
of their own personality, but Not very much. We really give in to our characters and the words that are written for us, and we actually contribute, not in the sense of what would I say or what would I do or feel, but what our characters would do and feel. And we've had the good fortune of having a writing staff that's really fleshed out some three-dimensional characters. So.
And I think you use the bits of you that you can and kind of empathize with the character. You use parts of your own personality, but at the end of the day, they're very different from
they're very, very different. It's more of a like an enhanced version of some of your own character traits.
Exactly,
I think I do have people that know me know that I can be somewhat cranky. That's part of my charm, and I kind of bring a little of that to Don. If you got to inject just enough so that you can feel comfortable in that character, but not so much till you're not working anymore.
Laura P. Do you and the cast hang out off set? What mischief do you cause in NYC, baby? Yeah, we were lucky because it doesn't happen. We've said this lots of times. It doesn't happen much that you genuinely get on with the cast. And although we're all very different, we happen to actually bond genuinely. And that sounds like a lie because lots of people do lie.
Yeah, they do.
When they're doing press.
We make our living telling lies, but we genuinely have affection for each other. We've had dinners together and spent time together socially, and we socialize when we're at work, just on set, or we go into somebody else's dressing room and hang out and things of that nature.
We've even been to clubs.
Yeah, see, that's where the mischief, I'm not in the mischief, because there are two things I learned when I first got into show business. The first one was keep your mouth shut. And the second thing I learned was go to bed. And so my other cast members and colleagues are much younger than me. They don't need as much rest as I need.
Although we did end up being in that cigar room until 2:30.
We did. I took them out once to the Grand Havana room and to some steaks, and we were out there till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I didn't have to work the next day, so I could stay out late that night. But mostly, I'm pretty much a homebody.
Tommy B.
What do you do to prepare for a scene? I've mastered a variety of Hindu breathing techniques that get me relaxed. And no, I mean, I don't know. For me, I think every actor works differently. I don't memorize my lines until about 5 minutes or so before I have to actually say them, and only. It works for me because just like we're here talking and we're in a comfortable setting, you still don't know what the next words out of your mouth are going to be. And because of that, I find that the way I work, it really makes it real to me. If I'm not quite sure that I know my lines, it forces me to also listen to the person I'm in the scene with. I'd like to try to use my ears more than I use my mouth, because if you're we always say bad actors react, good actors respond. What about you? What do you do to prepare?
I think I would agree with those sentiments. I suppose with the accent thing, I probably have to have a little more thought, because, as I've said before, you want your accent to be a place where you're not thinking about it. So the pre-prep with the accent I have to do, and I have to speak in the accent from the moment I get in the van in the morning until basically the weekend. Because that helps. I've got to be so comfortable with it that it's me, that it sounds like me, that it's not alien.
Especially something as specific as New York, where everybody, and that's the one thing about a New York accent. People get in their minds that there's a certain New York accent. And if you're actually in New York, you'll find there are many New York accents. If you're from the Bronx, if you're from Long Island, if you're from Brooklyn, if you're from Manhattan, if you're a transplant, you've been there 30 years or whatever. So it's a wide cornucopia of audio, mechanics that go on. So it's a lot of work, and Theo's been very consistent and has worked very hard, and I think perfected it, to be honest.
Thanks, brother.
Christine W. asks, Theo and Shy, what is it like to work as partners on the show? What's that like, Theo?
Well, again, I had a lot of luck because Shy, he's a guy who's been around for a long time, and I haven't been around as long. And I was very lucky that we instantly had great chemistry and it worked easily. But he's a great actor, and he was very supportive to me. This is my first American show. It's and there's a big learning curve. So he really helped, and so there's a bit of a parallel between the characters, and the partners on the show, and which we use deliberately because it helps obviously in your work. That there's a similar thing going on. I'm a British guy, new to it, and Shai's an American. He's been doing this for a long time, and he knows his stuff, and he's very, very good.
Well, thank you. But for me, I feel the same way. I learned from Theo. He doesn't see me stealing stuff out of his pocket, but I do. And he turns his head and lets me go in his pocket for a few tricks. When you're working with someone and there's a mutual level of respect, when there's two guys that respect each other as gentlemen and as actors, it becomes very easy, and there is a natural level of affection that grows, and if you allow it, you can let that show on screen. You can embrace the words and the scenes, and they mean something to you because you're talking. There have been scenes when I remember a time when there's the one scene where I was about to go interrogate somebody, and you had just found out something really bad about me, and he said to me, that in short, that his respect didn't waver. It made me tear up, for real, because, when you have genuine affection for someone, then you can just be in the scene and really be in it and really be listening, and that affection comes through in some lines where you don't even expect it. So Jules S. asks, who has impacted you most in your career and why?
Oh, that's a big one. Well, I'd say people I haven't met when I was in high school. I did, at 13, we studied streetcar for a year, and like everyone, Brando became, because of his acting style, he kind of changed that movie. He changed the way naturalism and the way the performance levels and stuff, and also he looked so cool. It was a great performance. And then I'd say who I met, I did a small part in a Woody Allen film, and my scenes were with Anthony Hopkins, and I remember thinking,
oh my God, yeah, that must have been. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky. I've had many acting teachers, and my acting teachers always worked with me on set, and those guys were some of the best actors you'll ever be around. Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Lawrence Fishburne and Eddie Murphy. And I've learned something from each one of the guys that I've worked with. John LaRoquette, I think, basically taught me comic timing and taught me, basically how to not be funny and just give in to the words and whatever. Bruce Willis taught me how to do a close-up. Fishburne taught me about, the difference in scenes when you're in wide shots and projecting and all that. So I've learned so much from everybody who I've worked with, and I've had the good fortune of working with all nice people. I've had nothing but wonderful experiences with people that I've looked up to and respected over the years. I did have one complete, unadulterated, unfiltered butthole of a guy, but all his talent was in his 8x10, and if I told you his name, you'd say, what are the specials? But, so that was the only experience like that. And it didn't really faze me at all because I knew it would be over quickly, and it was.
But you made a good point. If there's, if anyone's wanting to be an actor, one piece of advice I'd say is exactly that. Listen, and don't never think that you haven't got anything to learn, because there's always something.
That's right. Somebody can always teach you something, even if they're brand new. You just embrace. There's so much to learn, because when you're trying to replicate human behavior, whatever help you can get in doing that to make that real, you should take it.
Amy P asks, Theo, will your character have a love interest? Yes, definitely.
He's sitting next to him.
The biggest love of his life. Yeah, he does. He meets a vivacious journalist in the middle of the season.
I mean, come on, look at him. You don't think he's going to have a love interest? Women find him completely repulsive. Are you nuts? Yeah, he's got some love interest going on, all right. There's a couple girls that are interested in old Walter William Clark.
Yeah, but
want to go home and see his badge.
But it doesn't end all well, actually, in the last
big
climax at the end.
Really,
Figuratively speaking, not literal climax.
Joanna C., how are your cop skills? Shooting, kicking down doors, chasing criminals, etc. I think I'm pretty damn good at it now, because I hate criminals. So it would be pretty easy for me. As a matter of fact, if we're fortunate enough to continue, I really am going to pursue an opportunity to work in the reserves in the New Jersey Police Department if this thing should go long enough for me to actually end up moving back east. I never told you that, but I do want to do it. I love coppers. I have so much respect for them, and their courage I just admire, and they're doing good work, man. I mean, who you gonna call? Somebody breaking your house, But I think that we've learned a lot from some great consultants that we've had. Jimmy Bodner was a very highly decorated first-grade homicide detective who's since retired. Lenny Lemmer was the second most decorated homicide detective in the city of New York, in the history of New York. And we've had some great guys to learn from, and they've set great examples for us. What about you?
Yeah, I'd like to back myself, I have to say.
Yeah, you're really good at kicking down doors too.
Yeah.
I mean, you destroyed a door one day. Remember when we were the one where the guy ends up on the ledge, and he kicked that door so much till the door just was like, I give up. When we only have one or two doors, if we ever have like 10 doors to kick in, I'm worried that Theo is just going to throw out his leg or something, because he gets very vigorous about chasing the perps.
Those perps. Gracie, Theo, was this your first time playing an American? Do you ever find yourself taking an American accent in everyday life? Now, yes. Question one, yes, it was my first proper time playing American, and two, definitely it happens a lot. Firstly, it helps a little bit when you're doing it, and I found that I could just be in the action all the time. And then secondly, it's kind of useful. I think I said this to you. If you're in a bar in New York, you don't want to shout across and ask for a beer with a British accent.
Yeah.
You want to ask for the New York accent because you get served quicker.
Yeah.
And also, I remember walking down the street, and genuinely this happened. I heard some British guys talking, and I remember just thinking for a second, those damn British guys. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm British.
That's funny. Shy. Can you do your best Theo British accent? Well, actually, he actually puts on the accent whenever a woman comes about, because he's usually talking in an American accent, and then a pretty girl will walk by and he'll say, "Hello, I'm Theo James. What's your name, love?" But I do a variety of dialects.
Do
and
walking,
impressions.
do it, do it.
You want me to do walking?
Do it.
I don't know if my throat's in shape. Well, the thing is, when you're doing an accent, the most important thing is to always listen. And if you're doing walking, what people leave out, they like to jump on a specific word, but what they forget is to whisper. At the end of the day, he'll always threaten you and say, if you don't come up with my money, I'll kill you. You see, so that's
damn good.
Little of that, little walking.
That's very good. Damn. What's your favorite food from craft services? Jeff B asks. We know what his is.
Yeah. Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its, yeah. Cheez-Its.
Dude, I ate Cheez-Its till they were coming out of every orifice of my body. They would see me come. One time I went in my room, and there were about 75 bags of Cheez-Its, like in a mountain, sitting on the little coffee table in my room. I love Cheez-Its, man.
I love it.
I shouldn't be saying that because the Cheez-Its company doesn't send me no free crackers. But I confess, it's Cheez-Its, man. I just can't live without my Cheez-Its, bro.
I gotta say, for me, it's so boring and British, but I have to have a cup of tea.
He does. Proper tea at 2 p.m.
It's in the blood.
Shy, you started your acting career later in life. What you trying to say? Any tips for those thinking of a career change? The business is changing, my dear. If you have a solid job, hold on to it. I don't know. I believe that following a person's dream. Look, I was 31 when I got into show business. In many ways, I'm glad I was 31. If I'd had any success when I was a wide-eyed, immature, impulsive teenager, I don't know that I might not have crashed and burned. Look, I made enough mistakes in my life after 31, but I don't think if that's what you want to pursue, you'll know it. It's not something that you think or you believe. I know I'm supposed to be an actor, like I know whose name is on my driver's license. And when you've got that kind of knowing feeling, then you've got to pursue it. I think that
you
have to be realistic. I did. I was working at the phone company, and every day somebody come up to me and went, "You're so funny, you ought to be on TV." I'd be like, "Shut up. You don't know how to get nobody on TV. Stop saying that." But through a different variety of circumstances, I ended up in Hollywood, and I never came out here to wait tables or go pick up somebody's dry cleaning. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was singularly focused on doing this because I knew, like I said, like I know whose name is on my driver's license, that this is where I belong. And if you're realistic with yourself, be honest with yourself, if you know it like I knew it, by all means, go for it, man. Wait a minute, let me ask this question. For I was unaware of the next factoid. Olio asks, Theo, you have a great singing voice. I was completely unaware of this.
Thanks, man.
What brings you the most joy? Singing or acting? I know what would give me the most joy right now. Hearing you sing. Come on! Come on! Sing 2 bars of something. Jesus. 1 bar.
Because it would sound terrible.
Do a scale. You know what? You know what? I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have pressure on you. You know, because when people ask you to do like a Christopher Walken impression, like right off the cuff, because that never happens, does it?
God.
Does it, Theo?
Yeah, but that's something. Come on.
Okay, well, singing is different because you know what? Singing is like cooking. I'm an excellent cook. But if I got some friends over, I'm a nervous wreck because I want it to be perfect. And, you know, especially when somebody says, you have a great singing voice.
It's got to be good.
That's pressure.
But yeah, I wanted to do that stuff when I was younger. And I kind of pursued it until I was like 19. And then I kind of took a different route, but I do love it. I played in bands for years, various incarnations. Incarnations? No.
Incarnations.
Yeah.
English is his first language.
First language.
Yeah.
But many of them were not great. Some of them were good. But yeah, I think a bit of both, to be honest.
You know, it's funny because when somebody says they have a great singing voice, it's like. The one of the worst things you can say to anybody and put pressure on yourself is, let me tell you a funny story. It better be funny. You know what I mean? Sure. So that's why I never start a sentence with that.
Maggie asks, what does a girl got to do to talk Theo and Shy into getting Twitter accounts? No, that's a
baby.
Ooh.
I would not get on Twitter if Halle Berry was in front of me, butt naked, pouring coffee and begging me to do it. I just, when you talk about yourself in 140 characters or less all day long, it's only a matter of time before you say something stupid.
And I'll definitely say something.
And there's no delete because people save screenshots and you are stuck with that forever. I just don't have the hours in the day, and I'm just too afraid of just always be revealing and sharing all the time. And sometimes you overshare, and the next thing you know, you're out in the cold with no career. So I'm going to stay just like this.
I'd see why people do them, and I don't know. I've seen some of it. You follow certain people, and it can be illuminating or interesting about their personality. But I don't think I'll be very good at it. I don't think my tweets would hold that much interest, and if they did, they would be offensive.
Yeah. See, Twitter is trouble for me. I have no Twitter. No, thank you. Elizabeth A. asks.
Last question as well.
So Elizabeth A. asks, Arroyo and Clark seem to butt heads in the premiere episode. Will they learn to get along as they get to know each other better?
I think no. It's probably the summary.
That would be a proper answer.
But what is great about me and Shai would both agree that he's a very complex, great actor, and what he's brought to the role is this damaged, angry, but also good-hearted in a way person. So he plays many different dimensions to his character, and that makes him a really rich person to play with. But I don't. We never make up. Let's say. But
there is a grudgingly, mutual respect for each other as detectives, and it's like one of those situations where you back a guy in the corner, he's just got to give it up. Look, Clark's a great detective, and Clark says the same. So that's it. So our closing statement, it says, thanks everyone for all your great questions.
Thanks everyone.
Don't forget to tune in Tuesday, 10 p.m. CBS Golden Boy. It's going to be a fantastic ride. Please watch.
Do it. Good chatting. Bye.